we do to grow jobs from within? What can we do to look at ourselves from the inside and foster growth internally? So you're starting to hear now more about economic gardening and workforce development and entrepreneurship and creativity and doing all these things that looks at your existing intrinsic talent in your community and helps to prop and grow that from within. So the work that we've done through our recent research has really focused on these emerging tools. And if I were to summarize in as tight a nutshell as I can, what our research has focused on, it's been really what are the factors that attract this mobility lifestyle, these businesses, talent, entrepreneurship to our region. So to get at some of the roots of this question, and this is the place value study, we developed 2 different surveys that we then disseminated to Colorado, Wyoming, Idaho, and Montana. We worked with business partners, we worked with chambers of commerce, thank you Sam, economic development authorities, business partners to get the survey out there. And we heard from 476 businesses representing 60 different communities in our region, including from right here in Missoula. And the businesses ran the gamut from manufacturing to retail to services, really all points in between. Our survey of community members generated 494 individual responses, and that represents 70 different communities, again, including from right here in Missoula. So from these surveys, what did we learn? We learned that it appears that jobs follow people. So we asked business owners why they chose a particular community as a place to start a business. And for most business owners, actually 70% of our respondents said that they didn't move to their current community specifically for the purpose of opening a business, but instead they moved to a community that they wanted to live in and started a business at a later time. So people are moving to places they want to go to. So why are people moving to places they want to go to? Well, people are drawn to great places, is something we found. Our results indicate that the overall quality of a community is one of the driving factors that attracts people to a community. And so here are the results of our survey community members, and you can see overall quality of the community rises right to the top in this list. And for our business community, again, you can see overall quality of the community is a significant force for many of these people to go to a new community. I want to draw your attention to a couple things in this chart here. You can see favorable zoning regulations, favorable tax structure, availability of business incentives. Clear that they're still important, but they don't rise to the level of overall quality of community in this for that question. So when we think about business incentives, when we think about favorable tax policies, it's true that in our survey they didn't rise to the top in terms of what's attracting people to communities, but when we came back and asked what could make your community more business friendly, they did mention these types of things. Very, very important. So I bring this to your attention to say that we view this as a both and scenario, where you need to both do what you can to invest in your community, to invest in your place, to make it be as attractive and alluring as it can be, and do what you can from a policy perspective, from a regulatory perspective, from a taxing perspective, to create that business climate that keeps those businesses in your community. Character and sense of place. We learned that 89% of our respondents prioritize neighborhood character over home size, and that it's a significant decision to locate or remain in a community. We learned that walkability and the ability to get out and about in your town is very important. 90% of our respondents said that they would prefer to live within walking distance of community destination decisions. It's important in their decision for where to locate, where to buy a house. Sort of going off this point, convenience and access to amenities are important. We learned that 58% of our respondents said they would buy a house if it were closer to those amenities and those social gathering spots that they enjoy. 42% said that they would rather live on larger lots in larger houses, even if it meant they had to log more time behind the wheel. Access to open space and recreation are key. Again, we heard here that more home buyers would make trade-offs on lot size, on housing density, if it meant they had access and could walk to parks and recreation and open space. We learned that transportation choices are important as well, with people voicing a pretty clear preference for a wide range of transportation options. In our survey, 90% of the people felt that it was important, again, to be able to walk to places and have the infrastructure to be able to get there. It's not just the proximity, it's the provision of physical access. And 57% of that same group said that living near transportation was important if it were available public transit.